My family bought a home here in Duxbury in 1942, and at that time I was 7 years old. And a few years later I wound up going to Camp Chapter, and I went as a camper, and then I became a junior counselor, a counselor, and then I moved on. I loved it. It was a great camp on the other side of the Powder Point Bridge, and it had a very, very fine sailing program. And the sailing instructor, the sailing gentleman, Mo Seeley, Uncle Mo we called him, was in charge of the sailing program, and he also was the one who did the wooden boats. And I built 4 of those while I was in camp. It was a wonderful time, wonderful friends. A lot of local kids went to Chapter as day campers. And eventually I stayed overnight because it was more fun. And I loved it. It was a great camp. In those days, life was a lot simpler, although there was a very, very active sailing program, as there still is today, at Duxbury Yacht Club. But the junior program was really very robust, and sailing was a major activity. And now there's so many other things to do. Sailing is still an activity, but it's competing with tennis and golf and summer hockey and you name it. It was fun, and B, it was a learning experience. Always, I mean, I live on the water. I have boats and sailboats, and my kids and my grandkids gravitated towards the outboard motorboats more than sailing. But when the kids were younger, we went out every single weekend and sailed. Duxbury Bay Maritime School is an amazing, amazing story. It was founded in 1997. There was a boatyard sort of languishing in the deep end, meaning in the dredged harbor, and the gentleman, Jack Davis, was anxious to sell it. He had tried to develop it into commercial stuff, and the zoning and whatever, it's just, he couldn't do it. And so a group of us got together, and we bought it from him, with great help from the William P. Ellison, or the Ellison Foundation, and they helped us buy the property, and we've been very successful. We built 3 beautiful, one of them is under construction right now, a new rowing center, and we have 3,000 to 4,000 people use it every year, a large number of kids in the summertime. In fact, in a little while you're going to see them out here. Boats all over the bay. Most of them are Duxbury Bay Maritime School, but the point is, before that, the Duxbury sailing program was on Island Creek Pond, which is a little pond with weeds and stuff growing in it and little sunfish. And here we have this beautiful bay, and the town sailing program is on a small pond, not on the bay. And the idea of a group of about 8 or 9 of us was access to the bay for the community. And that's what Duxbury Bay Maritime School is all about. And we started with sailing, and then rowing came into the scene, crew, racing, shells, and that has just exploded. And that's why we're building our new building, because we've raised about $22 or $3 million over the years. We don't earn any money, and it's a very successful program, and one that's being modeled all over the country. It's quite unique.